if you were to give me a list of places to discuss the art of pro wrestling, I think I would not say a beautiful oyster bar in Jackson Square
with craft cocktails.
But here we are, Gabe.
I mean, we're getting old. We gotta. Come on, let's step up the game for everybody a little bit.
Hey, I love it. To me, pro wrestling is classy. It deserves this elegant atmosphere. And maybe some people listening or watching to this right now, Gabe, violently disagree with us.
I hope so.
Yeah, you hope so, really.
Yeah. I love that passion, because it still, once again, like generates that energy and response. There's a really good friend of mine actually at the R Bar, and it just completely blew his mind when he knew how into it I am. Now granted, I got way back into it this year. I had a break for a while, but I'm fully back in. And and then when I said to him, well, I actually think that it's one of the highest art forms in the world. I'm like, and that just, it was like, like I was a Nazi or something, like it was just so passionate, his response and his hatred for that.
Can I tell you one of the things that I tell people when they say, I can't believe you like pro wrestling, what is it about? Can I tell you the thing that I use to try and get them on my side?
Yeah.
It's like, I think it's the only art form that is extremely honest about what it's doing, right?
Yeah.
It's extremely honest, and also it's a very kind and giving art form, because if me and you are in a match against each other, it does not work unless we agree that I am going to do this move to you and it is going to hurt you. Like if you don't sell the move I do, it's going to look bad.
Yeah.
And so we are agreeing to all the action in a match, but we're also doing it on the spot.
Yep.
In most cases.
Yep.
Sure, the outcome is predetermined because it's being written and there's a long-term storyline, which that alone is interesting.
Yep.
More long-term story planning than a lot of like Netflix series, right?
Oh, for sure.
But it's also your body, physical. You're putting your body through something very physical, and we have to be good listeners. You have to like build and heighten and be good listeners. It's like a good comedy, a good drama, a good horror movie. It's like everything rolled into one.
Choreography, is such a big aspect of it, and even with the wrestlers that are fighting each other in the ring, selling each other and selling the match, that there still has an actual competitive element to it, though, regardless, which is that those wrestlers, those performers, they all want to achieve either the highest level of babyface or the highest level of heel. That's all their goals, is just like an athlete wanting to try and make it to a championship game or a playoff series. They want to be in these major events, and that has everything to do with how well they sell these matches and how well they play these characters and how well they interact with the audience.
Dude, I was watching wrestling with someone who is new to wrestling. She likes me, and so she's watched some wrestling with me. And she was like, right away was like, oh, it's so cool when someone wins the title, even though it's scripted, because they were scripted to win the title.
Exactly.
Right? Some say that like this also happens in the NFL, the NBA, which that's what I mean about pro wrestling isn't lying about what it is.
Right.
But it's like, even though it's scripted, it's still the same amount of excitement.
Yeah.
Like, there's a guy that I wrestled with in the Indies. His name was Ricky Starks, who is in NXT right now.
Yeah, okay.
And who just won the NXT title.
Yeah, I saw him.
He was a good friend of mine from Austin a long time ago. He's from New Orleans.
He was AEW for a while too.
He was AEW for a while
during the area Cody, right?
Right, but he just won. He just won the title, the NXT title, and to me, it's actually like, maybe I'm splitting hairs here or getting too in the weeds, but it actually is more satisfying that he was written to win a title than if he actually won a wrestling title or like his sports team won a champion. I don't know. It just feels different to be scripted to win a title.
Well, it's like the dialogue we might have about some, dramatic show like Game of Thrones, when everyone was upset about the direction with which they went with, a particular character, and you would have to discuss that, and you would discuss how you felt about where this character was going, and not just that, but then we go even further in talking about the writing, which, of course, hardcore wrestling fans, we're talking about what's going on in Guerrilla, we're talking about the writers. To me, that's a really great treat of being a long-term wrestling fan, is that we now have these other levels to consideration, because they've opened it up more now, so that the average person that does pay attention to wrestling, these kids don't realize we didn't know about Guerrilla growing up. We didn't know about the writers.
Right.
We didn't know about the behind-the-scenes stuff. But I think the behind-the-scenes stuff, they even, in the 90s, they just started taking you backstage. But that was all obviously scripted, too. But that got weird, too, back then, because I feel like the thing I love about wrestling, too, is how they test the fourth wall sometimes, where you're actually, like, the characters kind of are who they are sometimes, some of them. In the case of, like, Vince McMahon.
Yeah, unfortunately.
He played the awful, horrible boss, and he actually kind of was that.
Turns out.
Yeah, right.
Turns out. Yeah. And, another thing I tell people is like, well, the obvious one is like, okay, well, that every movie you've ever seen was planned, right? Did that make it, does that make your crying fake? Your emotional reaction? Does it make it not count? No. You love watching that movie from your childhood, or that movie that you were watching when you were falling in love with your partner. Like, it's like that's not fake. Those emotions, those reactions are not fake, even though the movie is fake, or whatever.
Oh, hell yeah. Also,
it's like, okay, yeah, Blue Man Group is, or for example, it's like, do you watch the Blue Man Group or like Cirque du Soleil?
Right.
Are you like, that's not real?
Right.
It's like, yeah, it's not real. It's a show.
Nothing's real.
That's
nothing
is real.
Anytime anyone says to me, like, oh, pro wrestling's fake, I always say, well, your identity and your reality is fake, too. You're just not willing to admit it.
Yeah.
You don't know it. Like, you're wearing multiple brands that some creative created. There's an athlete, there's an actor, there's a thing you read, there's a person that throughout your life you have created this identity for yourself that's based off of these frameworks that other creatives and athletes expressed. And you think it's a semblance of self, but it's actually this modge podge of all these creative experiences that have made an impression on you. So wrestling to me is just being, once again, it's one of the most honest art forms, because it actually exposes the illusion that we all live in, and not just in the art world, but in the actual world as well.
Yeah.
But it's bonding. That's one of the things I love so much about it. But all right, so wait, when we do this cheers, let's do this to our, because I know this is not possible, but the first wrestler that comes to our mind as far as our love of wrestling, let's do a toast to each of us say ours when we do it.
Yeah, okay, well, I have to go with my childhood icon, and I had the photographic proof that this man was my childhood icon. I have to go with the Ultimate Warrior.
Oh, sick, yeah.
The Ultimate Warrior.
I'll go with Stone Cold because I got the shirt on. Yeah,
fair enough.
All right, to Stone Cold and the Ultimate Warrior.
Yes,
Rest in peace, Warrior. Oh, man.
We love it. Fives.
Yeah.
For the win.
Yeah, I mean, and look at that damn cube. It's got a 5 in it. Yeah.
Oh, even better.
Yeah, I love
Steve,
the cocktails.
You got a shot of that? Stan, Ice Cube has a number on it. Usually digits on food freaks me out.
Sure.
I don't care for it.
Luckily, that's not food.
This is different. This is different. This is different. I'm okay with this. I actually really like this. I actually don't want any ice cubes in my life that don't have a digit on them.
Okay, got it. I got the little weird cube thingies for my fridge.
Really?
I got little hearts.
Oh, look at you.
I got little spheres. I got little skulls.
Okay, skulls. Assume the skulls.
Yeah. I got into this like shaped ice thing in the last couple years.
I want an ice cube with my social security number on it. It's a magic trick.
And as it melts, it's reenacting our social security for our, retirement as well
Dude.
at the same time.
Okay, this has to exist. If it doesn't, someone get on this. But a restaurant that is also a magic show, the waiters are magicians, and you order food, but every food is associated with a magic trick.
Wow.
I mean,
I like that. I've thought about the pro wrestling theme for a restaurant too, but what if you had a Magic Pro Wrestling restaurant?
You're saying where you're combining these two ideas?
Yes.
Gabe, that's too much.
I'm into
a
it.
Magic and pro wrestling? Or how about a Magic? Well, this would have only happened in like the 80s, but a Magic, a wrestler who is a magician. Was there one? I don't think there was
I don't
a
think there
wrestler.
has been a Magic Pro Wrestler. I mean, they've done the whole like, ooh, I'm from the dead and from the other side
Sure,
type thing, but
sure.
I don't think they've ever. Aleister Black, I always think of as playing with like references to ceremonial magic.
Yeah, but I'm talking about like a caricature, like.
Yeah, that's a good
I mean, it
point.
couldn't work now. Now it's too much. Wrestling is too real now.
Well, but
which-
they do have a lot of that stuff in terms of with like the tattoos and the symbolism. And then if you look at Aleister Black's stuff, there's
Sure.
actually like actual ceremonial magic symbols that they have tattooed on his body and in his like stuff.
Have you seen any of the Aleister Black intros from NXT?
No.
Go
no.
look at those.
Okay. Yeah.
He has some of because he was a main eventer in NXT.
Right.
He was at the top of the scene. He has some of the best intros. Which, by the way, that's probably what I love the most about pro wrestling. The showman and me, I admire and so inspired by and deeply respect the intro.
The walkout?
in pro wrestling. And if you watch Open Mic from Hell, you can tell
Yeah.
that I'm like
Yeah.
big on the intros.
Yeah, the walkouts are dope.
The walkouts
Yeah.
need to be dope. I tried my best. I love the streamers and the smoke and all that. I try to replicate that as much as possible with my show. But so much, and someone who doesn't watch wrestling, you take them to a wrestling show, don't let them go to the bathroom during intros.
Totally.
Because I mean, you might disagree with this, but I actually think if you need a pee break, do it during the match, like after it starts, because you don't want to miss the beginning or the end.
Fair. Yeah, fair.
That's what I think.
All depending on the match.
Of course.
Now, you made me think. Who would you say is your favorite classic walkout, and who is your contemporary favorite walkout presently?
Well, Stone Cold has it's the ideal everything.
Yeah.
With the glass breaking and like you immediately know what's going on, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's one of the more perfect walkouts of all time.
Totally.
But I also really fond of Triple H's classic walkout.
Oh yeah. You
With
mean
the-
when he was with the game with the?
Yes.
You talking about when he had the Motorhead song?
Yes,
Yeah.
spitting the water, the whole thing.
Yeah,
like
yeah,
you
yeah.
can tell that Triple H grew up idolizing pro wrestlers,
yeah.
and he thought about. It's so sweet to me. It's like watching a basketball player who very clearly is soaking up every moment on the big stage. I feel like Triple H never took anything for granted.
Nah, he was built for it.
Which is, I think, I deeply admire that as a performer too. Where it's like, don't take any of this for granted.
Yeah.
It's like, and I feel like Triple H, you can feel that in every single one of his intros.
My love-hate for him is deep because there's like elements of Triple H that I love to no end, and then there's obvious elements we have problems with, that we have conflicts with
Sure.
in modern life. But you can't take that away from, I guess we should say, Paul. Yeah, is that he really gives it all, man, to the fucking game for sure. Yeah.
Contemporary, I really love Penta right now.
Penta's so rad.
Penta's intro with like the multiple cues, and each cue is like a different set of pyro. But I want to say you don't have to have pyro to have a good intro.
Agreed.
You don't have to. Sometimes, and I can tell you from this is obvious, but like from my time working in wrestling, it's like the discussions are always like, who needs what to get over? And some people need face paint or need a catchphrase or need the pyro to get over. Some people don't. And I don't think it makes you less cool.
Right.
Like Penta would be cool without the pyro.
Agreed, yeah.
At the same time, Stone Cold does not need any of it.
Nah.
But at the same time, would Stone Cold be Stone Cold without the glass breaking?
Right. Yeah, that theme is pretty key. It's like that perfect point where it all comes together and that thing that's unmistakable is born. Because he was, so many wrestlers have their identities before they find their true character. And Stone Cold was one of those. He was like 2 or 3 characters before that.
And, of course, every wrestler will tell you, like, that in a perfect world, they get the best song, the pyro, the catchphrase, the cool look.
Yeah.
But it's interesting where it's like, but if you can do it without those things, oh my God.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
The OGs were really great at that because they had to be that way.
Wait, who?
The OG wrestlers.
Oh,
so
yes,
I would
yes.
say, like, since you already said Stone Cold, I would say that my favorite classic entrances are going to go back to NWA pre-WCW days. First of all, I think my love for pro wrestling started with my grandmother's hatred of Ric Flair.
Uh-huh.
And she was this little, sweet, old, polite lady until NWA would come on. And she just vented every bit of hatred for fucking Ric Flair. She hated him so much. And Ric Flair, you know, but I'm going to list a different set of wrestlers, though. Even though Ric Flair's entrance is one of those ones that didn't have the pyro, it was all about the gown and the pageantry, but there was no lights or whatever. He just had that, like, classic, like, you know, 2001 entrance, like, song. But my favorites, if you're talking about that would just terrify the shit out of me when I was a kid, was the fucking Road Warriors. And they had Iron Man by Black Sabbath was their intro. And I had just started even knowing about Black Sabbath, so it's still like Iron Man sounded so dark. And then they would just fly into the ring and beat the shit out of everybody. Right? There was no pageantry. It was them running towards the ring when Iron Man would start playing and then beating the hell out of people.
Yeah.
They were the shit, bro. I think there was something about that entrance that just was like, whoa, you know. Because then they sort of introduced to me the first notion that there were wrestlers that could just not have to abide by a certain pattern of behavior. That they were there to just fuck you up in the most terrifying way possible, which was the early Road Warriors to me, like so so much. Yeah.
Dude, I think another thing to learn from pro wrestling for anybody, like whether you work in sales or you're you do public speaking or whatever your thing is, like even like going on a date. I mean, really, like I'm rambling, but like anyone can learn from the concept of a great walkout, a great intro. And I think that I'm not saying it always has to be, like when I'm teaching improv classes, I'm like, not everything has to be big and hilarious. Sometimes we want subtle, we want nuance.
Yeah.
So when you watch a series of pro wrestling intros, it's not always the person who comes out and is beating their chest and it's going real big. That's the best ones.
Yeah.
There's all kinds of ways to have a great intro, and everyone can learn from this. Like the
Yeah,
way you
Ryback's
walk into
proof
a
of
room.
that.
Say what?
Ryback's proof of that. Boring
Right.
as shit.
Right.
Roided gorilla.
But like the way
Yeah.
you walk into a room
Yeah.
means a lot, and
Yeah.
like you can learn. You can really get inspired by watching pro wrestling.
Yeah, I mean, it's brought me back to life in a lot of ways. I reconnected with it at the beginning of the year, and you know, the thing that I'm involved with, as you understand, is really a lot of bodies, a lot of people, a lot of stress every week. And so wrestling is one of the few things that when I watch it, I'm not thinking about the art world. I'm just feeling shit.
Yeah.
And I enjoy it quite a bit. But I would say, like, modern walkouts, if he was still around, I have become obsessed with Bray Wyatt this last year and feel really bad that I missed that era. So I've been trying to, like, make up for that. Like, Bray Wyatt, the drama and the energy of when he would enter. That WrestleMania that was here, holy shit, his entrance for that match was incredible.
So good. You know, I saw him in the press box after that.
Whoa.
I was in the press box covering WrestleMania that year in 2000.
I don't know.
I don't remember.
Yeah, I think it was WrestleMania
30.
4. Was it 30 or?
It was 30.
Yeah.
Well, he did two here, but like the first one, WrestleMania 30, when he lost to John Cena.
Right.
And I saw him in the press box afterwards,
Wow.
drenched in sweat. And of course, we all thought, speaking of John Cena being Super Cena, we all thought, they were talking about off air.
Yeah.
We were all pissed that, can't believe John Cena beat Bray Wyatt, a guy who is coming up, you know.
Yeah.
But that intro was so special.
Yeah, totally.
So special.
Totally. Yeah,
it's
for
oyster
sure.
time.
Hell yeah.
Appreciate you, buddy.
All right.
So
well,
we're going to dive into these oysters. Thank you all so much for hanging out with us here for 2 drink minimum.
those of you that stayed with this conversation, God bless you.
Yeah, well, if you stay with us and you don't watch wrestling, it sounds like you're about to start watching wrestling.
Yeah, I think our goal is to influence more of our audience to watch more wrestling. Yeah.
Yes.
Good place to start would be the Crown Jewel that just happened in Perth. if
sure.
you've got an ESPN, we're not going down that rabbit hole. Monday Night Raw, Netflix, all that shit. AEW on HBO
Yeah.
Max. I'm plugging these major, but I don't give a fuck because I want people to watch wrestling. Like YouTube, like get into it, bro. Yeah.
Yeah, it's easy to get into. Don't be overwhelmed. Even though I am overwhelmed with what's about to happen right here at Fives.
Thanks, Fives.
This is Gabe from Mortal Machine. I'm Chris from the Open Mic from Hell. Any final words, Gabe?
Yeah, it's getting these oysters because Stone Cold said so.